going on, everybody? This is our second, can't say annual, I guess, but our second ever Q&A. First for the Pro Wrestling Pulse. We had one back at the IWR show, which for some reason they decided to quit doing, but that's a different story.
Can we have right now? Fuck off. Can we have right now? Can we just guess the time? Because the video's already up, but can we guess the time that we think this is going to take? Go.
How long this video's going to take?
How long the video's going to take. And then everybody out there will know who was right.
41 minutes and 53 seconds.
Way over that.
69 minutes.
You would.
I'm taking the over. I'm going over an hour 10.
Doing prices right here.
I'm going hour 10. I'm going cliffhanger. I'm going over.
Right. So in other words, grab something to drink.
Grab something to drink.
Grab something to eat.
All prepared.
Sit down. It's going to be a long one, but we're going to go ahead and get started. I think last time this guy had the main event, but we're going to go ahead and start it off with him this time. The longtime listener, Kane Cub 9. He writes in, all right, guys, just one question. When are you going to do another pro wrestling quiz?
It was Trivia Challenge, first off. You got to get it right.
Yeah.
Obviously, there was nobody for J-Man to defend the title against anymore. So, I mean...
J-Man should be stripped of the title. He hasn't defended it in a while.
Well,
so,
I mean, that's a good point.
He's been slacking, so...
Well, guess what? He was just joking anyway. Here's his questions. The latest ROH wrestler signed to a major wrestling company was El Generico. Who else would you like to see go up the ladder from ROH to either WWE or TNA?
Yeah, outstanding. We haven't really talked about Generico signing with WWE, which is tremendous. We all are huge fans of El Generico. He's one of the best workers in the world. But I'm a huge Adam Cole fan, and this guy is so tremendous, and his talent is amazing, and his potential to be an amazing star into the future is just fucking never ending. He's outstanding in the ring, on the mic, everything he does. The current television champion in Ring of Honor. He's outstanding. Can't say enough about that. There's tons of other guys that are not really more deserving, but well deserving of that. But I would probably have to go with Adam Cole. And Eddie Edwards is another guy I tremendously love and doesn't get a lot of props for a lot of things. But yeah, I would go him as well. There's tons of other guys, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Adam Cole.
I'm going to go with Davey Richards. I'd like to see Davey sign with TNA and have a Davey Kurt feud, or sign with WWE and go Davey and Bryan Danielson.
There you go.
That's cool. I'm not going for Ring of Honor, but I'm going to go Brian Cage. Brian Cage is a guy I think that was under a developmental deal from WWE for a while, and they let him go. Horrible decision. Great worker, great charisma, perfect look. TNA effed up hardcore.
Oh my God.
Hardcore by not keeping him. Could have made him huge.
He did a video. We're talking about WWE looking for one of their top biggest stars, and I think he would fit to a T what WWE would be looking for.
If you don't know who Brian Cage is, look him up. You could YouTube him. He's been on a lot of Pro Wrestling Guerrilla shows.
Yeah.
Great talent. I would go with Brian Cage.
Yeah, the only problem with Davey Richards, he'd have to go to like some kind of midget wrestling.
Good one. Yeah, because CM Punk's just 9 feet tall. Shawn Michaels is
towered over Davey Richards.
Oh.
What are they, vanilla?
I could not believe that when I saw that picture when Justin's like towering over Davey Richards. Like, holy shit.
Who the hell is that?
Whatever.
Somebody, I don't know.
All right, next question from Kane Cub 9. Since the list for this year's WWE Hall of Fame is extremely hot, especially with Trish Stratus, zing. Who would you like to be inducted next year?
You can start. We're gonna go back and forth.
Who would I like to see be inducted?
Next year.
So
who's due?
So overdue.
Ahmed Johnson. I think Ahmed Johnson. Goldust is another one. Mae Young's hand. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I mean, you'd have to really sit and look at some of the people to really think about it. Hot. I mean...
Oh, are we going like chicks?
Chicks or just in general, or...
I think he just meant overall.
I think he meant overall.
Yeah. I think he meant, okay. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of... There's
one that sticks out for a long time that's been sticking out.
Mick Foley?
He's in already.
This year?
Yeah, he's in.
Terry Funk?
He's in.
He
was in 09. I saw that.
Edge is already in, too. I don't know. You shoot.
Owen Hart.
Owen Hart, there you go. Well, see, they have that legal battle. So
they have the legal battle, but if it was me putting Hall of Fame, he should have been in a long time ago. But yeah, I'd go Owen Hart for sure. But yeah, there's probably tons, like Ryan was saying, sit down and look at it. There's probably tons of names that haven't been in as well.
Anything, Quad?
Oh, it's my turn? I just got skipped, so I was...
No, he didn't know what I was talking about, so...
God damn it.
Paul Heyman would be a good one. But I doubt that'll happen.
Lita.
There you go.
There you go.
That'd be a good one. Hopefully she inducts Trish. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I would induct Trish.
Next question, Zing.
In something, I don't know.
In the present day, who within WWE TNA will become the future of their company?
We'll let you start this one, Quatie.
What?
In the present day, with the WWE or TNA, who will become the future of their company?
I didn't look at any of these questions, so I'm going to go with Cassius Ohno for WWE. If they actually gave him a chance, let him actually work, bring him with Cesaro, maybe.
Yeah. Obviously, Cassius Ohno would be one of mine. I can't pick just one. Seth Rollins, he's been my guy for a very long time. Obviously, Dean Ambrose, just continuing to blow people's minds and will into the future. And you still got the guys who are there already. I mean, we can't overlook Dolph Ziggler. Obviously, he's going to be up there for sure. And CM Punk and Daniel Bryan. I mean, they're going to be the future. They're the present. They're going to be the future too. There's probably a lot of other guys.
John Cena.
Yeah, let's hope. The Sandows, the Cody Rhodeses, they're going to be up there for sure. But definitely that core three, as far as the younger guys, the Cassius Ohno, well, not really younger because they're going to keep wasting their time and wasting their lives away if they don't do anything, especially the Cassius Ohnos. But the Seth Rollins and the Dean Ambroses are going to just, the next 15 years, are going to be on the top of the card for a long time.
Yeah, I like Dean Ambrose. I like, there's quite a few guys, developmental, that I think could really show up and do some. Brad Maddox. I like Brad Maddox too. But I mean, I don't know. I think people don't understand his genius right now. A lot of people don't get it. But Dean Ambrose, TNA-wise, Aries has already made to that mountain. He was a guy who I thought, I don't know. Kenny King seems like he could be a guy that could be molded if they really want to take a chance with him.
Brian Cage,
if they ever sign him. There's quite a few guys. It'd be interesting to see what they did with El Generico. WWE did with El Generico.
That's another one, yeah.
You know, without a mask or whatever they're going to do with him. I think if they did it right, they kept the mask on him, they gave him a name that's really relatable, gave him the mask, still kind of kept that kind of lucha gimmick. I think he could really get over with like Rey Mysterio. So I think those guys. I'd like those guys.
Yeah, until John Cena goes away, we won't know, basically. Since The Undertaker will not likely participate in WrestleMania 29, who do you think, or do you guys think the streak should stick at 20-0?
Oh, we obviously just had The Undertaker return, I think, like last night at a house show.
Well, these questions were before. So.
Yeah, these were before, obviously. So people thinking, then I still was thinking Taker was going to wrestle at 29. They've had so many times, we just forget about it over the past couple years where it looks like, oh, Taker's in bad health, he probably won't wrestle, and then he ends up, wrestling on that big show and ends up putting on the best match usually with whoever he gets in the ring with. But he came back, so they're probably going to be looking at doing something. Me and Ryan were talking about, I think they're supposed to be doing some big angle on Raw with him and Lesnar and Tripp or something. So who knows what they're going to talk about. They were talking about doing him and Punk. That's what I wanted to see with them, but who knows what's going to be going on there. So it looks like he probably will be at WrestleMania 29. But I wanted it to stop at 20, to be honest with you. I know a lot of people still wanted to see him and Cena because it hasn't happened, and it hasn't happened, in a significant stage. And since Cena's been in, the big, face of the company kind of mold that he's been in, we haven't really seen a couple of tag matches, random kind of shit. But people want to see that. But outside of that, he's literally had done everything that he could possibly do. And for me, with my OCD problems, I like to see something stop at something even and something like kind of that made sense. And when he called the end of the era, or end of an era, it made sense to kind of end it off there with the Hell in a Cell with Triple H. It made so much sense to do that. I wish they would have, but it probably will continue, probably until 30. But yeah, I'd like to see it.
Yeah, really, I think Taker's the only. Go ahead.
Well, we fucked the whole order system up, but we'll go.
I was waiting for you to go. You didn't.
Hey, buddy.
He's sucking on a Hall's breezer.
God, I fucking feel like shit. And I think it should end at 20-0. There you go.
There we go.
Buddy. Mr. Skater boy.
Can we just mention? Avril Lavigne
down here?
How much I want to punch Ryan in the face right now for looking like an absolute douche. Like, I love him. I mean, he's basically, these guys are like my brothers, but he looks like a goddamn douchebag right now. And I'm just please comment. I mean, he has weed stored in the back of that hat, getting ready to go to a Slackers, smoke some weed behind a Denny's, and do a kickflip. I mean, what the fuck is going on?
He's going to go beat up Jack Swagger.
He might be going to fucking do something there. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead there, fucking Bucky Lassick.
You're right.
He's not trying not to die.
I'm not going to comment on my look right now. My hair is a bit messy, so I'm wearing a hat. That's all I'm gonna say. All right. What was the question?
20-0. Should we end it?
Okay. All right. All right. You know what? No, I think Taker has 2 matches left in him. I think it's CM Punk and I think it's John Cena. I think the last he should end with John Cena. I think out of every match I've heard recently, that's pretty much the only one that I really want to see is him and John Cena. I think him and Punk would be great, but I think the match between him and Cena is a match I think people have been looking forward to seeing for years. And I think at 30, it may happen unless Undertaker dies. So.
WWE, just don't call it end of an era with him and Triple H at WrestleMania 28, and then keep doing shit. Don't make it seem like it's the end.
And maybe Taker's going to ref that match between Tripp and Lesnar.
Oh God, let's watch out for that.
Undertaker
special referee. He's going to have
an appearance.
Special referee entrance of WrestleMania history.
And last but not least, question from Kane Cub 9.
God damn it.
He's a devoted fan. He wants
Very
to know
much
your
so.
guys' knowledge.
He loves me, I guess. Jesus.
All right, he's got a gag question on here, but I don't think so. Who would win in a match, Ryback or Goldberg?
You want to say it?
Yeah, I had an answer for this already. Not the fans watching. That is the winner. The winners of this match. Non-winners.
Goldberg.
I just want to see him wrestle again.
Oh God. I don't know.
Not the fans.
I want to see them both spear each other and knock each other out in the middle of the ring.
Can we just see like a 25-minute promo between them?
Oh my God.
That would be entertaining.
That would be entertaining.
That would just them struggling through that.
Yeah, no, I got nothing to say.
People need to stop putting Ryback in Goldberg's level. As far as like we joke about, the Goldbergs and those kind of guys. Goldberg was just, to the nth degree on top of the fucking world back in his day. Ryback is just to compare the look and what he's doing and how he dresses and all that. Just come on, people. Jesus Christ. Just, ugh.
Quad was right. It was Goldberg.
Yes.
Quad was right. It was Goldberg.
All right. Next question from a guy named Harrison Laverty.
Developmental wrestler.
We have to mention, we're not going to make fun of your name. It sounds like a developmental name. Harrison Laverty. Come on.
All right. He'd like to know, where do you think WWE is going to head in the next 5 to 10 years? Do you think they will return to TV 14, or will they stay in the PG era?
Who's it going? Let me go first on this.
Yeah, what do you guys on?
I think it has to. I think it has to go to TV 14. I think everything goes full circle. They're trying to do the PG thing, and that'll work for a while. But after a while, those kids who are PG are going to be teenagers, and the ones that you have that are fans now. I guess unless you have younger fans jump in, you're going to keep losing fans. If you're not going to get edgy again. I think they're on the verge of being edgier with their storylines. I think when Triple H full-blown takes over, which could be another 10, 15 years, who knows how long Vince McMahon will live, it has to get edgier, depending on, and it always depends on, and you look at the internet age, you look at everything that's going on, surprises and people and bringing things in and doing this, you have to get edgier. Because as a fan right now, I am completely uninterested in professional wrestling as a total. I'm almost forcing myself to watch stuff sometimes. I like pay-per-views, and I like the spontaneousness of the pay-per-views and the big-time feel, and hanging out with the bros and doing the the whole deal. But overall, when I watch wrestling,
I got to say something.
I TiVo it. But go ahead.
Your bros? Is that what you call your jailmates?
No comment.
Too soon still? I'm gonna go.
We need to speed this up.
Oh yeah, we gotta speed through this. I'm gonna go with after Linda McMahon finally realized she's never gonna make public office, they'll go to TV 14.
Good point.
I think because Linda has to cover her ass because little kids and parents are like, oh, my little kid watches wrestling and they have to keep this PG. So
that is a tremendous point by Quad that I completely neglected to remember because that is really what.
Man, I'm 2-0 on this.
You're on it. That is completely.
It's those halls.
It's the halls. It's getting into a system. That is actually the exact point that all this PG stuff really started to go down because they wanted to change the product to make it safer for Linda and make it look like well, this is a great competition here, and we're not going to do anything too edgy, and not going to be what the company is, which is controversial and unpredictable and all this kind of shit that we fell in love with professional wrestling about when we were kids and all that kind of stuff. It didn't ruin us to any point, No, we're good, upstanding citizens, I think, from growing up in that area.
Me and him are upstanding citizens.
You're not going to let him just live down that.
Real holes.
He's not.
I missed the court date, damn it!
I think he met Bucky Lasek in that jail cell too. Might have been a Schnucks product placement and fuck off. But yeah, it's gonna be a while before they still do that. They've been on this PG era for such a long time now, and it goes without even realizing like how long it's kind of been since they've kind of been in that kind of stuck era that we're just getting so bored of and it's just so stale and all this kind of shit. But like Ryan said, I mean, there's gonna come a time where just a fucking uproar is going to come with like they've got to change the wrestling world, and everything goes with how WWE goes. They fucking steer the ship of how professional wrestling is led and how everything is going on. TNA is going to keep following along with whatever the hell WWE does because that's what they've done for the longest time. But it's got to change. And for us, being especially me and Ryan growing up, kind of when we were younger, watching all that kind of stuff, it's just so great. And I think. To say, that, professional wrestling is going to skew what children think or how they do things. There's so many more fucked up things in this world besides professional wrestling that are going to fuck over people's minds and all this kind of shit in the world today. Professional wrestling isn't going to be doing that. I don't give a shit what kind of angle you do, what kind of storyline, all this kind of shit you're going to end up doing. It makes wrestling so much more intriguing and so much more interesting when you add the element of the edginess and the controversial kind of stuff that you bring in there. You have to do it soon, but I don't think it's going to happen, anytime soon, unfortunately.
Yeah, and as long as little Johnny has his mommy and daddy buying John Cena shirts, too, they're going to keep it down there.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, teenagers to young adults don't have the expendable income that a mother does spending for little Johnny. I got a little Johnny here.
That's true.
What?
Kind of racist.
You just call your dick a little Johnny?
All right, next up we have Daniel Enriquez. He's got 2 questions for you. First question, do you think The Miz will ever be WWE champion again or be in the main event picture? Eric. I'm going to just go ahead and call. I'm taking charge.
Yeah, you call out the name.
Eric.
Who?
Quad.
Actually, I really don't care. Let's see. Since he just got engaged to Maurice.
Oh, lucky bastard.
I just want they both to go WWE. I want to see it, but I don't think WWE will do it. I don't know why.
Yeah, everybody knows I'm a big Miz guy. I haven't liked his face run that much. It's come off really gay. I really just don't like it. But, yeah, I don't know. With the kind of landscape that's going on right now in WWE, when Miz was WWE champion, you didn't have a lot of guys. Like, we talked about along that time when Miz won the title, went into WrestleMania 27, that was CM Punk's match to have with John Cena for the WWE title, WrestleMania 27. That was CM Punk's main event. And they didn't do it. They gave the title to Miz, having him cash in on Randy and all this kind of stuff. But I honestly don't think he's ever going to be WWE champion again. To be totally honest with you, I don't feel like with the era we're going to be going into with the young talent that is just amazing coming up, that is going to be getting a lot of the forefront. We've seen, WWE really work themselves into putting over these young guys. We've seen what they've done with the Shield and just made them look like fucking monsters and proving that, these are going to be the guys going in the future. They're going to be in that kind of title hunt and on top of the card and stuff. But I love The Miz. He's going to be a great part of the future, I think. He can do some great things once he becomes, as Quatie said, he's almost like a damn veteran now. I mean, he's gotten to the point where he's been there for almost fucking 10 years, which is crazy to say. But he's going to be, a viable point in the future. But I don't see him being WWE champion again. Maybe world champion, but not WWE champion again.
Yeah, I don't see it happening anytime soon. If it does, like you said, going in a different direction, Miz is kind of doing his face thing, selling product, Miz is a good spokesperson for WWE. He goes places, he does radio shows, he's good with people, he's good on the mic. He's a gym, I would say, for WWE, but I think, they tried it with him and it just didn't work. It was a bit early. I'm not saying it'll never happen again, but I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon.
Ryan, are you guys excited for this year's WrestleMania? Now that's pretty much the card set.
Absolutely not.
Nope.
No.
I'm excited for the Hall of Fame because it would be nice to see Mick finally get in, but
I mean, it's early. We only have a couple announced matches, and there's obviously some changes going to be happening with the world title situation. But yeah, it's looking like a combination of WrestleMania 28 and SummerSlam, and it's just no.
And Daniel Enriquez said thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
Next up, we have Russell Daniels. Are you guys happy the Ravens won the Super Bowl? Eric?
Yes.
Justin?
No. No, I'm not. Fuck the Harbaughs. Fuck everybody. Once the Falcons got out, I could give a flying fucking shit. That was the Falcons to win and their chance, and they put so much fucking effort into that. But yeah, Fuck the Super Bowl. I'm happy the lights went out. Wish the Shield made a fucking debut or made an appearance there. But yeah, it's great to see Michael Turner hopefully getting released for the Falcons, and they're going to go with Jacquizz Rodgers. Sorry, I got to throw my other sports thing out there. But yeah, I don't give a shit.
You know what? I really didn't care. It was whatever.
It turned out to be a pretty good game, though.
I won money. That's the only reason I care.
B Daddy J won a lot of money, so we're happy. Also, Russell Daniels would like to know: do you think CM Punk should end Taker's streak at Mania? And if not, do you think should it end? If not, who do you think should end it? If anyone. So basically, if CM Punk,
I got you.
Okay,
I got you.
Go ahead, J-Man, hit it then.
Of course, I want to see CM Punk, in the Undertaker streak. It's not going to happen, but CM Punk would be a perfect guy to build off of to do that, in my eyes. I think there's a lot of guys in the past that could have worked off of it, but it's just going to be that streak it has to stay there. It's almost something outside of the Undertaker that stands alone without even him. It's known as just that streak. So it can't end. It has to stay that way. There's been so many times that it looked like it could, but we've known always in the back of our minds that it's like, this thing's never going to be broken. In the future and however far it goes or whatever, back in the past when we were looking at it, it's like, this thing's not going to end. I mean, there's portions where it looked like it could have made sense. Randy at WrestleMania 21 made a lot of sense, could have did it there. You had, obviously, the 2 with Shawn, the one that looked the scariest was 25, looked like you could have had him win that one, just probably wouldn't have made it much sense, but it would have been fucking awesome. My love for Shawn Michaels would have been great, but you had Edge at 24, he was just not even close to being able to win that one, unfortunately, even though he had his own streak, obviously, that he had built up for WrestleMania. But yeah, fuck yeah, I'd love to see CM Punk, in the streak, but it's not going to happen. It would make CM Punk a massive, even more of a fucking massive star, but yeah, it ain't going to happen.
I think it's compared. I hate to compare these two, but it's like Hurricane's game streak.
Yep.
It is exactly what it is. It's one of those streaks that shouldn't be broken, but if it was broken, it'd be interesting to see who does it. Would I want to see Punk do it? Yes. Will it ever happen? No.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's the only person I would want to see do it is Punk. I think that's the only person that I think I don't if at WrestleMania 30 they have John Cena and Undertaker.
Don't even say this.
And if John Cena wins, I think that's the poorest move in WWE's.
I've always said over the past couple of years, if John Cena beats the Undertaker at WrestleMania, I will stop watching wrestling. I've said that because I swear, oh my lord,
there's no reason for it.
Oh my lord,
there's no reason for it, and I don't think it'll ever be a young guy. I think it's it. I mean, I think you're looking at the possibility of maybe 2 more matches for the Undertaker in the history of his career.
But CM Punk, in the mode he's in right now, in the positioning in his career he is right now, would make so much sense for them to do it, but they're not going to.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
All right, next question. The question we have is from David Satsky. Eric, do you think the WWE will go against TNA since TNA is expanding? And then he's got a little Attitude Era 2 quad.
No.
What was the question?
Good answer. Do you think WWE will go after TNA since TNA is expanding like an Attitude Era 2? Got in quotation marks.
No, you got that completely backwards. WWE ain't going for anybody. They're so far out in front, they don't see anybody in the rearview mirror.
Usain Bolt.
It would be, if anything, good one. It would be, if anything, TNA trying to get up to those standards. We saw that in 2010 and fell right on their fucking faces. No, I mean, it's never going to get to that point that we had with WCW and WWF. It's never going to be like that again. And people, I wanted it too. I want it to be like that. It's never going to be like that again. It's the era we're in, the time of wrestling we're in. It can never be like that again, unfortunately. I mean, that's the greatest time, but that's the thing. We look back to golden ages. You look at golden age of baseball. You look at golden age of other sports. It's never going to be like that again. The way the world works, everything's got to change and move on, and that's unfortunate. But yeah, it's never going to be like that again. Yeah,
I agree with that, and I don't know. I don't think I ever see TNA doing that. And I don't ever think WWE is going to go after TNA either. I think WWE's okay with TNA being there. I think they see it as not really a threat, as maybe a scouting thing, really. I really don't think even if TNA somehow snagged John Cena, I don't think that it would even matter.
That wouldn't happen either, yeah.
I really don't think it would ever matter. And that's why I hate the way TNA runs their company. I think they should run it completely opposite of how WWE does, because they're never going to catch them. They should just be an alternative.
Yep.
And that's
what they were in the past, and they're not anymore.
Yeah, they're not what they. So be what WWE isn't, and they're not doing that. But it'll never happen.
All right, this is a good one for you to start out with, Ryan. WWE is not punk rock would like to know, what 3 indie stars, if used properly, do you think could elevate TNA?
Could elevate TNA. Well, Brian Cage was one, obviously. I think Davey Richards to TNA would be a great move. I think revamp kind of that work ethic in the company. I think you got it with guys like Aries and Rude and
Angle.
Angle and guys like that. I think he's a fresh face in that. I think there's some guys. Adam Cole obviously is another guy. I don't know. I think the main event scene is pretty solid in TNA. I think they flip flop some guys around. I think tag teams would be interesting. I think the American Wolves, maybe the Briscoes, and TNA would be really interesting. See what they could do with some of the guys. But other than that, I mean, those guys are great, and I don't know. Other than that, I can't really see anybody else.
J-Man?
Yeah, I would agree with a lot of the things he said. Adam Cole, obviously, would be one I'd say. Davey Richards, Eddie Edwards, great singularly. Tag team-wise, they're amazing. The Briscoes, I mean, everybody would fall in love with the Briscoes, either WWE, TNA, whatever. People would find Kevin Steen extremely interesting as well.
Yeah,
Sami Callihan is another one that I think, as far as indie-wise, he's amazing and just a fucking monster machine and stuff that he could do with like Joe, which we've seen in the past, stuff he could do with Kurt Angle, anything like that. I mean, you bring workers into TNA and young guys that you could build around and that kind of stuff. Like I said, those kind of guys, the Eddies and the Davies, those younger guys coming up. They tried in the past with Roderick Strong. I think I've always loved Roderick Strong as far as a great talent. Doesn't really have the charisma and everything to go behind it. But, there's tons of other indie guys. But, yeah, those would kind of be the core kind of guys I'd go for.
They answered everything I have.
Yeah.
All right, next up we have Mick Brads. Mick Brads would like to know, question number 1. What's the most random thing Quatie has raged at?
I guess we got to answer this shit. Well, our boy Quatie, he gets in an uproar about numerous things, no matter the significance. Sometimes it could just be literally, somebody gave him a spoon instead of a fork, and he'll fucking fly off the radar. You never know; he might do that.
Pizza Street.
Normally, a Pizza Street. Normally, Quatie, outside of all of us, he is the most like down low, just chill. I'll probably be Brian like 5 minutes or however long. It's 5 minutes. It can be 5 minutes. Brian, however long we get done with this video, he'll be chilling in a recliner and probably take a nap here in 5 minutes. But when he's on camera, he puts on the Quatie gimmick, and it gets all fucking crazy. There's so many. You guys could probably answer it better than we could. I mean, it's probably something wrestling.
Victory Road?
John Cena, Victory Road, obviously is this
Relationship.
the infamous one, relationships.
Trayvon
Martin. Anything dealing with, stupid shit outside in the world right now, he'll go off the radar about that shit, deservingly so, because a lot of the shit is stupid as fuck. Sports-related stuff, anything. You've seen the rages, you've seen all that kind of shit, yeah.
Yeah, check out his Rage channel. Check out his old Rage channel, which we're going to probably have him put up some of his old ones onto his new channel. But I personally like the old people one and the people that don't speak English. Those were two of my favorites.
Old people's good.
And also, McBrads would like to know, Eric, earliest memory of wrestling that made you think, what the fuck? Or WTF?
This is such a weird question.
It is a weird question. Earliest memory of wrestling that made you think, WTF?
Oh, I got one spot in my mind.
All right, then go ahead.
Let me go.
Sure, go.
Katie Vick.
Yeah, that was pretty weird.
Katie Vick was weird.
Yeah.
Katie Vick angle was weird. Mae Young's hand.
That was a good one.
Mae Young's hand.
Orlando Jordan for me, even though I'm not part of Pro Wrestling Pulse. That one made me go, what the fuck?
This is such a weird question, because like I have tons of early, wrestling memories when I was a kid, but it's just none that really
Goldust
pop in my mind. Yeah. There's maybe, he's
that
a weird
Dawn Marie Tori Wilson's dad storyline.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. There are so many that I just, in my mind, that I just can't even think of.
I think when Amen Johnson got knocked out and Goldust gave mouth to mouth.
That was odd. What DVD was that on? I saw that on recently.
I saw that too, and I can't think of it.
I can't think
of Anti-Era.
Anti-Era DVD, yeah. It's fucking random as hell. I can't think, I don't know, there's probably a ton of them. It's a weird question, though.
Vince McMahon blowing himself in a limo.
That was, that was like early, though. That was like 6 years ago.
But that leads us into this next question.
Oh, God.
Good segue.
Captain Monotone 448 would like to know.
This is the one, yeah.
If WWE wrestler, if a WWE wrestler did Chris Benoit's taunt and diving headbutt, how would the fans react?
Now, please say how he put Chris Benoit in that comment.
All right, well, okay, he put it with B-E and then he star, like he kind of crossed out Benoit's name, but what he should have done was put the murdering bastard in front of it, and that's B-Daddy J commentary. Go. Quickly.
I know.
That's what makes me angry, sorry.
Yeah, I know. I know.
J Rage.
I know that there's only one guy in all of WWE and mostly wrestling that does a diving headbutt. That's Daniel Bryan. He never taunts. I know.
Well, I think he's meaning the throat thing, which Taker's done that.
Yeah, Kane used to do it. I don't think they'll ever do it. I mean, I don't think anybody will ever do it. I know Shawn Michaels did the crossface for a while too, and he never did any taunting or anything. But I remember seeing after Shawn Michaels doing the crossface, and the first time I had seen it in WWE since all that, and I wasn't shocked or anything, but I was kind of like, what?
It makes you think about it.
It was like, they let him do that for real? Yeah, I mean, I don't think. I think the crowd would react. I think fans like us would. I think younger kids wouldn't understand it, but
just move on.
WWE wouldn't even let that happen. I mean, they blur out all that stuff.
Just move on. Next question.
Captain Monotone 448 would also like to know: would it have been better if WWE turned Ziggler face instead of the Miz?
Turned him face.
Whose question is it?
Eric, go.
No.
I would say absolutely. I think Dolph Ziggler is going to make an outstanding face. I think you kind of got that element of like a Shawn Michaels with the Dolph Ziggler. We've always compared them to kind of the charisma that they got going on, the kind of, whatever they got doing, the whole thing, the gimmick they got going there. But yeah, I think he would make an outstanding face alongside of what they need to flip-flop Randy Orton and Dolph Ziggler. That's what they need to do. Randy Orton needs to be that heel and Dolph Ziggler needs to be the face because I think you got kids behind him. They could get behind him. The girls will get behind him, obviously. And all of us will still be behind him because he's an outstanding worker. So yeah, I would absolutely agree with
He's
that.
a cheerleader.
Was a fake one, but
Cheerleader,
yeah, I mean,
he's a great heel too. We can't mention that either. But as far as the question goes, I would agree with that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the face turn was looking forward here soon. I think it might happen. Eventually, I think I like the angle they're running with him and AJ. Biggie Langston is another story, but right now as a heel, I like him. But I think eventually it's going to have to switch. The crowd likes him. Even if he's a heel.
And it'll switch. I really think it'll switch to the complexion of the WWE if they did that. I think they've worked towards like a kind of a Shawn boyhood dream kind of thing with Dolph. I think it would work out great, but I think it'd be a good angle to do.
All right, Ryan, we'll go right back with you on this one. What's your favorite botches?
Favorite botches.
Captain Monotone.
Favorite botches.
448.
Because people care about you so much.
I know. The favorite botches. There's a bunch of them. I can't even think off the top of my head. I don't know if you consider it botch. Sid Vicious dropkick where he broke his leg completely in half. That was pretty
great.
Does
that count?
That's just,
it wasn't really. I mean, I guess you can't consider it.
That's just ugly.
Favorite botches. Oh, my favorite botch of all time. I don't know if you consider it. It's not a wrestling botch. When Ultimo Dragon came to the ring at WrestleMania 20 and he slipped and fell. They edited it out in the DVD, but I had it recorded on VHS. It's just so funny. He gets up and he goes, "Oh well," and then he just goes to the ring. It's that right there. I laughed. That, and I guess I don't know if you consider it a botch or not, but when Mickey James did that in the match, and they bleeped that out in the DVD too.
22,
I would consider it a botch, but I know they bleeped it out.
Any Sin Cara thing he did to begin his career.
Any Sin Cara
thing. This is random. I don't have any favorites. I just remember some of them. I remember the fucking RKO the RKO that Randy tried to do on Chris Jericho, and then he just completely whiffed. I think he had like Triple H in the walls of Jericho, and he went to RKO Jericho in the position and just missed completely and just fell on his ass. I remember when Trish Stratus almost fell off the Invasion 2001 set. The Invasion 2001 set was like a fucking V, because you had entrances for WWF, you had entrances for the Alliance and all that kind of stuff, and it made a V, and there was a huge gap in the middle. And they won some like bra and panties match or whatever. And they're walking backwards with her and Lita, and Trish is all celebrating, and she turned right into the big ass gap and almost fell in and had to like get her ass saved by Lita. It was fucking random, but there's tons of like people trying to fall off stages and shit and all that kind of stuff. I don't have any favorites. I just remember some, but yeah. Next question.
Brock Lesnar's moonsault.
Oh my god. Whew, brutal.
Oh, you mean the shooting star?
The shooting star,
whatever.
Yeah. Shooting star.
All right, Wrestling Info 190 fan or Wrestling Info 190 would like to know best match of 2012 and why. Eric, quad.
I guess I'll go Taker Trip, just because with Shawn as that ref, just because that I thought it was going to be the end of the era. I had no idea, even though it's Taker's WrestleMania streak and all that. I had no idea who was going to win that. And that's what I kind of want to see at WrestleMania or any wrestling event, is not knowing what's going to happen.
Exactly.
Especially like after the Rumble that we witnessed, knowing that The Rock was going to win. And I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
I'm not going there.
No. Go check out our 2012 awards vid. We did. It's probably a couple up or something like that. But go check that out. We did down. Yeah. We did a bunch of the awards and stuff. I'm still sticking with Michael Hogan and Davey Richards from Showdown in the Sun. It was outstanding, great work, and we've talked about it a million times on that award show and other stuff like that. But go check that match out and go check the awards video out too if you haven't seen all the other awards we did.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Elgin and Davey too. That's the one that sticks out the most in my mind.
Yeah.
All right, next up we have Matters in the House. He's got a couple or 3 questions here. When do you think the Attitude Era ended, J-Man?
This is a great question, and it's a great question for J-Man. Obviously, a huge fan of that time period. And to me, I've always been keen on realizing beginning and endings of eras. I've always had, it has a feel to it for me. If I go back and I have the millions of fucking DVDs I got and all this kind of stuff, years kind of have feelings to me. I've always felt that, different phases always just felt a little bit differently. And obviously, this has obviously been a huge topic about kind of, when it started, when it ended, all that kind of stuff. There's 3 really phases to me that you could really pick out as kind of a start to see a beginning, really transition to, an ending, and then the complete, ending of the era. After WrestleMania 18 in 2002, you could have really started to see the difference of things changing. And that was really the different kind of feel of WrestleMania, that you knew things were over after that, with the kind of time period that was going on there. The second thing that kind of made a sign of things ending was the name change. Obviously, changing from WWF to WWE, and I think of May of 2002 they did it, was obviously a huge change because you're changing the name and you want to change the feel of your company when you do that, because WWE's always been keen on wanting to change different things. And the last thing would be SummerSlam 02 and having Brock Lesnar defeat The Rock for the WWE title, and kind of that was really that kind of turning point that you knew something was going to be different. You had that mainstay and really the second biggest star of the Attitude Era on The Rock, and had this juggernaut, new age kind of guy like Brock Lesnar come in and take the WWE Championship from him, winning the King of the Ring and all that kind of stuff. You had, the Austins and the Rocks and, all those kind of guys start fading out, and all those 3 things really significant to me. I really can't point out one, but those 3 would probably be the most significant, the changing of the eras there.
No idea. Wasn't watching it then.
I think I agree with a lot of what J-Man said. I think that period of time right before WrestleMania 18, where Hulk Hogan randomly had the title, and then, or was that after?
That was after.
That was after. Right after, yeah, when Hulk Hogan randomly had the title again, and then it was just out of nowhere random. I think WrestleMania 19 really had a really changing of a tide type feel. I'd probably go right around that time. I can't really pinpoint a specific time, but WrestleMania 19 really felt different. Really different to some other stuff, and showed with the main event, obviously. So I'm going to go with that.
All right, this one I guess is just specifically for Ryan. Will we ever see the return of Alberto Del Rio?
We haven't even seen the return of our Ryan. With what this Ryan is, I don't know what's going on.
For those you don't know, I really can't tell because I'm not standing up. I just lost 100 pounds in the last 7 months. So, I don't know. J-Man lost 50 pounds too. Quad grew a beard. So, I don't know.
I got muscle.
You got muscle.
Quad has to stay the same because he's Quad, all right?
Okay.
He does have a lot more muscle.
But it's something I thought about. There's another gimmick I was thinking about, maybe doing Ryan back, maybe doing a little.
Robert's already on board with it.
Robert loves the idea apparently, I don't know. It's something we may throw out here. We'll see rolling into WrestleMania.
Well, I think we stopped doing it because Del Rio wasn't doing jack shit.
Del Rio wasn't doing
anything. The entire period of 2012. He didn't do shit, and then he won the title. We might have to see.
We'll see. Maybe WrestleMania rolling around.
You never know what's going to happen.
You never know what's going to end. I never know what's going
to happen. I may fit into that jacket that you let me use better.
That is true. Never know what's going to happen on the Pro Wrestling Pulse. You might see Del Rio appearance.
All right, J-Man. Who of the up-and-comers do you think will be the next big name in wrestling?
Oh my Lord.
Let's just go. I think we're going off the roster right now.
Off of the WWE roster?
Unless maybe I guess maybe somebody. There's so many new players.
We've talked about this a million times. It's the same kind of guys: the Seth Rollins, the Dean Ambrose, Cassius Ohnos, Adam Cole's. I mean, it's just those are my core kind of guys that should be the future of the company. And obviously, the CM Punk and the Daniel Bryans are going to be there as well. So those are the guys.
I agree. Yeah, pretty much those guys. I mean, can't really think of anybody else. I think man, I really think if Kevin Steen lost like 60 or 70 pounds
Yeah.
and really just like, I don't know.
It's unfortunate because he was outstanding 2010 to 2011, and then it just seemed like he didn't give a shit anymore once he won the title. He worked to get the title, and then it's like he just kind of whatever.
He has that CM Punk kind of vibe, but
Yeah,
I think
he has
WWE
that,
can't roll with the way he looks.
No, I think it would be a good coup for TNA to pick him up and kind of make them their version of CM Punk. I think that would be a good idea.
That would be a good idea.
I totally agree with that. Mr. Wrestling is awesome. Next one, and this is hard to say without saying a bitch after it, but Rick Bain, 01.
Rick Bain, bitch.
Any predictions after Mania? Will Dolph cash it in before Mania?
I'll take this one first.
Okay.
I would love to see Dolph cash in at WrestleMania. They've never done it. They tried to do it with Mr. Kennedy. That failed epically. I think they would have done it if all that shit didn't go down. I don't know. I think it with the situation going down with Swagger right now, I think with whoever they throw in here, I think the opportunity is fresh. I think it's hot. I think, they did the whole thing with Daniel Bryan last year where he lost in 10 seconds or whatever it was. I don't know. I remember 18 seconds. Yeah, whatever it was. I think it'd be a complete coup for WWE to pull the trigger and do a Money in the Bank cash in at WrestleMania. It's never happened. I think it should happen at WrestleMania. That's what I think.
I think Jack Swagger literally put this on a gold platter for Dolph Ziggler. Since he's a dumbass, he got busted with it, and WWE has no faith in Swagger anymore, so he's gonna get the shit. He's gonna be dropped down the bottom of the title chain or title list, whatever. Dolph is just sitting there. Hey, I got this. Let me do something with this. And what I think is gonna be funny, quad moment. I think AJ's gonna kiss Del Rio, and Ziggler's gonna do zigzag on Del Rio, and he's gonna win.
Kind of like what they did last year. Yeah, I've been just on that fucking cash in WrestleMania since the last year. I've wanted it to happen. Like Ryan said, we have never seen it since the attempt they tried to do with Kennedy when they were going into WrestleMania 24. But thank God all that ended up happening. I was pissed at the moment, but then ended up going to Edge, and Edge ended up becoming the greatest as far as World Heavyweight Championship of all time. But yeah, I would absolutely love to see it at WrestleMania. That's what I've wanted to see. That I'd love to see maybe just a Del Rio Randy match if they take Swagger out, do Del Rio Randy at Mania, and then just do a cash in after that match or something like that. Maybe start something with with Dolph and Randy or something like that. I can tell you one thing, a prediction for after WrestleMania. All of us will be going to Extreme Rules the month after WrestleMania. We got our tickets this past weekend, Section 105. So if anybody's going to Extreme Rules in St. Louis, Missouri this year, come try to find us because we'll be there. We'll probably be the loudest people, fucking randomest, whatever. Especially when we're outside of the event before we get into it, you'll probably hear us.
If dude's wearing a Dude Love shirt again, I may suck his dick.
Whoa!
That's bar, Quatie. That is the depths that he will go for a Dude Love shirt.
We have to thank BJJ for getting tickets too.
Yeah, BJJ got all the tickets. I've got mine paid so far. They're gonna do it in increments, hopefully, or he'll kill them. But yeah, we'll all be there. So make sure you find us. If you're gonna be at Extreme Rules, we'll be there. We're jacked for it. Hopefully, it's better than WrestleMania because it has been over the past couple years.
And I will not be sitting next to them.
No, he's in a different spot.
I got my seats away from him. That's how bad it is.
The randomness will be to us.
All right, that was from Rick Bain. Next up, we got My Sheila 84. This is kind of we're going to spin this question. When do you guys think the WWE will get rid of the stupid spinner belt, and do you think they are planning to unify the two titles again to get a new championship? I hope they are planning on doing it soon because both titles are getting ridiculous. Well, we obviously know that they've changed the belt.
They did.
Yes.
I was just going to say maybe the night after Extreme Elimination Chamber of 2013. I'm going to go with that as the point of view.
What do you think of the new belt?
I think it's horrendous. I mean, it's the last one wasn't that great either. I kind of grew accustomed to it, over the years since they had stopped the little spinner deal with it. But it's all right. I don't like that it's customized to The Rock because we know he's probably going to lose at WrestleMania. I don't see him rolling on with it. But
I don't know about that.
You never know.
Way to try and fake cough and then almost die.
Good Lord, Quatie. He's not dying over here.
Another Halls, please.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think they should have done it with Punk. I think Punk should have got his own type of belt. I mean, I think he wouldn't have done it so ridiculous to where, it would have been outlandish like The Rock's, but
It would have
I don't
worked.
know.
It looks like caca.
Can't fucking stand it. Like Ryan said, it was deserved to have CM Punk have that. I think after WrestleMania, they knew they were going to have this extended title run for CM Punk last year. They knew they were going to kind of have him be that guy. After WrestleMania last year, they should have gave him a new title and let him run 2012 with a new title and do all that kind of shit. In my eyes, they should have done that. But yeah, I can't stand it. It just... Go back. If you're not going to go back to an old school type design, the Winged Eagle, the one in the Attitude Era, which I love the most, make a classic type style, just newer design. I fell in love with TNA's old school, or the design they had in like '08 or whatever, and then they gave it to Eric Young to run around with, and then they got that new fucking title that looks like it's made for like a fucking monster or something. It just looks horrendous. But yeah, I'm just a fan of classic old school type looking titles, but just make one with a new flair to it. Just don't make it so accustomed to like having to be that era or that generation. Like I said, I mean, I hated the spinner title, but I thought it was all right when you made it to where it didn't spin. I mean, it didn't just look like it had to be with John Cena. I thought it looked all right with Randy Orton. I thought Randy Orton might have looked the best with it. John Cena kind of looked goofy with it after an extended period of time. But yeah, I'm not a fan of it at all.
Jeff Hardy's. Could have used that
the Transformers title? Yeah.
The Divas title?
Jeez, the Divas title's horrendous too.
Also, he's got another little question here. Also, when do you think Vince will get his head out of his ass and change eras and get rid of John Cena? I also hope WWE is planning that soon as well.
Planning that.
John Cena's going to be around for the next at least 10 to 15 years. As long as... He may not be wrestling, but he'll be there. Appearances, Stone Cold, Rock, all those guys are going to be around. You're always going to get that. But, John Cena is going to be the same, just like the Undertaker. If he is not wrestling throughout the year, he's going to wrestle 2 or 3 matches. It's going to happen for the next 10 to 15 years.
Yeah, and as Vince McMahon says, it's all about the money.
John Cena ain't going anywhere, people. Unfortunately, you're going to have to deal with it.
All right, next up we got...
Well, unless he tries to become a movie star or something like The Rock, but that ain't going to happen. I've seen John Cena's acting abilities. He's going to be staying in WWE, that's for sure.
All right, next we got AOTV Productions. He's got a list of some matches here, and he wants to know which one of these matches would you pay to see if they were to happen. He's got Randy Savage versus CM Punk.
Are we just stopping or whatever?
Yeah, I'll just read them all. You can kind of say...
people that compare Randy Savage and CM Punk just make no sense to me. They're just comparing them for the elbow drop, and just I don't find their styles or anything really...
Didn't Savage die? Isn't that kind of impossible to watch?
Whoa! CM Punk's dream match should be like a 96 Shawn Michaels. That would be the dream match you got there for them, in my opinion. But
he's got Fabulous Moolah versus Trish Stratus.
I think all these matches are dream matches a lot of people would like to see.
I ain't paying for no damn women's match. No. Unless it involves Sarah Del Rey, I ain't paying to see any women's match.
Sarah Del Rey versus
Ronda Rousey.
Sarah Del Rey versus Ronda Rousey.
Make it happen! WrestleMania! Be there!
God, I would pay to see that.
God, I would pay to see that to a motherfucking T.
Eric. Quad. Andre the Giant versus The Big Show.
No.
Nah.
Fuck no.
I really watch paint dry.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Legion of Doom versus the Dudley Boys.
That'd be cool.
That'd be a good one.
That'd be interesting.
Bret Hart versus Kurt Angle.
Can I say one for this? I have to say one for this. Because the Bret Hart dick suckers would have to suck their own dicks on this match when Kurt Angle would just fucking run around Bret Hart. Because I swear to God, Bret Hart over the past couple years has just pissed me off so fucking much with how fucking selfish he is. And it just angers me so fucking much. And how people say, well, Shawn Michaels is the biggest fucking dick-sucking fucking asshole, whatever. He's all conceited about his own shit. Bret Hart needs to take a look in the mirror because he's the exact same way. Shawn will probably say that about himself. Bret thinks he's like a fucking god. And if they would ever have Kurt Angle and Bret Hart get in the ring in both their primes, it would be a fucking outstanding match. That's for damn sure. But Bret Hart would be eating some fucking humble pie because he'd be getting circles run around his fucking ass, in my opinion.
I think Bret Hart really needs to get his head out of his ass because after the whole WWE when he went to WCW and how the way he left WWE, I don't think he deserves to be have any association with WWE. And the only way that he would be allowed back in is because of Owen. That is it. Because the way he's been, I guess where he came back and fought Vince and he was, just go away. You've had a stroke. I'm sorry to hear that, but just go away.
You're smashing on Bret Hart.
I hear you. That's a Bret Hart hate around here.
I don't dislike Bret Hart, and he's had his deal and he did his thing, But I mean,
Have you heard what he's been saying lately? He's just an idiot. He's got a head up his fucking ass. I wish Owen was still around because he'd be, still wrestling and putting on outstanding matches and be a better athlete in my eyes.
Yeah, I don't know. Bret was just, I don't know. You really can't say much. Just go on.
Sting versus The Undertaker.
I think the spectacle of it would be cool. I really don't think the match would be. The match would be all right. I think Undertaker probably have to carry Cena.
I would love to see this. If this happened in late '97, early '98, would have fucking been absolutely amazing. WrestleMania 14 around that time would have been fucking amazing for it. I am in love. When I was a kid, I fucking loved that Crow gimmick. I know a lot of people like the kind of early days of Sting with the colored face paint. I thought that gimmick was great with everything they did, and it would have fit with Undertaker, obviously, naturally, and what they would have done there would have been great. Late '97, early '98, Sting Taker would have been the shit.
I agree.
Yeah, anything a couple years ago with the 214.
Yeah.
If that would have been Sting at the time, man, to have him, I think that would have been just a monster.
When was it? 211 or whatever the hell it was?
Or 211 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not actually a huge fan of the Undertaker, but I would have loved to see that.
Yeah,
actually, I'm not a huge fan of both of them, but just to see them finally get together.
Well, at the time,
years
with what he's talking about with these guys, it would have been fucking amazing.
Yeah. Shawn Michaels versus The Rock. Now, see, he's got Hulk Hogan versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, but I don't think it's all together. A four-way?
No. Yeah, Shawn Michaels and The Rock, one of my probably top 3 dream matches of all time. The best 2 athletes of their generations, the greatest worker and the greatest professional wrestler of all time, and Shawn Michaels, and one of the best, especially if you'd have had I'd probably say a 90, I wouldn't want to go late 96, but I'd probably go a mid-96 Shawn Michaels with like a 2000, 2001 Rock would have been fucking, all over that. Would be absolutely outstanding.
When he says all over that, he means ejaculation.
Probably.
How did that never happen?
Well, I mean, the only facets they ever had, Shawn left in 98 and came back in 02, and then Rock kind of dominated that period of time. It was just a crappy transition where Shawn had to leave, and then, Rock came in and did all the stuff with him in Austin and kind of made that new era. But the only really interaction they had was when Shawn was special ref for stuff. And he special ref a lot of Triple H Rock matches. I still remember that one on SmackDown that he was going for that People's Elbow, and then Shawn Sweet Chin music him out of the People's Elbow was fucking outstanding. And then the stuff they had at Judgment Day 2000 with Triple H and Rock when they had that Iron Man match that Shawn refed, and then had Taker come back. Such great moments. Those are outstanding stuff there. But yeah, that'd be tremendous.
How about Hulk Hogan versus Stone Cold Steve Austin? Anything?
I think it'd be cool.
It would have to be Hollywood Hogan.
A spectacle type deal of it. But the only match I would actually really pay money to see, which will never happen. I think Daniel Bryan versus Owen Hart. I'd love to see that.
I really don't think it's going to happen. I love how you said that like there's actually a possibility of having. Yeah, that would have been tremendous too.
All right, next up we got Agent 47 Gold. This one's just specifically for Quatie. Is Quatie's name Quadri? Because my name is Quadri.
That's beautiful. No.
Yeah. As you told, I've said Eric.
Explain to why he has Quadri.
I came up with it. Do you want to explain your Alex?
I'll go ahead.
Okay.
I don't have a voice, so.
I came up with the name Quatie back when we were in community college. Gotta give some props to St. Charles Community College. But yeah, back when we met, I got paid to go there with all the shit that I got back. Back when we were in a bunch of broadcasting classes and stuff like that, great times. He told me his name, and we obviously had a connection. We found out that we both like wrestling and sports and all this kind of stuff. And he's like, "Well, what's your name?" It's like, "Oh, it's Eric Michael Anthony Ryan." I'm like, "You have 4 first names as your entire name." Originally, it was double name because it was Eric Ryan, and then I found out his whole name. I'm like, "Sir, you got a quad right there. That's a quad 4 names right there." So his name is now Quad. There you go, as a Pro Wrestling Pulse exclusive. You found out how the hell his name is Quad. Because, he has 4 first names, so his name is Quad.
Yeah, and if you're Agent 47 Gold, I'd like to know if you're from America.
Yeah, because
that's a weird name. I mean, it's not a weird name, but it's a different name.
It's a very interesting name.
And I'm just wondering.
Or is it your last name?
It might be, yeah.
And thanks for the question.
Exactly.
Next up, he'd like to know, are you guys going to WrestleMania?
Not this year.
Not this year, but B Daddy J and J-Man have some plans for going to WrestleMania 30 in New Orleans. It is like an hour and a half away from my grandparents' house that live near Gulfport, Mississippi. And yeah, we'll probably be all over that. I think he already took that Monday off next year. So yeah, we'll probably be having some exclusives at WrestleMania 30. We don't know if maybe these guys can maybe get
I'll
all
be in the trunk.
Maybe if these guys could get all Quatie will sneak in the trunk or something.
I really don't care.
Might try and get some other guys there. But yeah, so look for next year, a Pro Wrestling Pulse exclusive in Nolans.
Yeah, a little expensive to go see stuff in New York.
Yeah, no shit.
It's not worth it this year.
Yeah, and that's, there you go, boom.
Year, yeah.
Next up from Agent 47 Gold. How was your first WWE's televised, or how? I guess where was your first, maybe? How was your first WWE televised event you went to, if you can remember?
Quatie?
My first one was Lockdown.
No, WWE.
WWE
Was it Rumble, was it? No, that was your first pay-per-view. It was a Raw. Is that Raw in 2011?
There you go.
Raw in 2011. Yeah.
See, I used to never be able to go. I always used to watch it on TV whenever I could, and my parents really didn't like it, and then I realized that I just don't care what they say. Then I met J-Man and Ryback. Jail cell.
Oh my God.
Ryan Lassick.
And then we all just formed into that group, so yeah.
I went to a lot of shows when I was younger with my mom and all her boyfriends, and I really can't remember her boyfriends.
What? That didn't come out good, though.
Maybe Ryan's backstory of going to jail makes a lot of sense now.
What? I mean, you just said like your mom was... And
who knows?
Okay, there was one boyfriend in particular who liked wrestling when I was younger.
Yeah.
And we'll just say that he liked going to the wrestling shows. He rented the pay-per-views and stuff like that. I really didn't pay attention to him a lot when I was super young, but once I hit about 7, 8, 9, 10, and all that, and I started getting into it better. But the one I remember specifically most was a SmackDown here in St. Louis. Vivid memory, I've talked to J-Man about this for several times, is that one where Brock Lesnar F5 Spanky into that pole. I don't know why, it's a vivid memory
whipped his fucking
of SmackDown, and that's the one that I remember the most.
Wow, the earliest memory for me, I know my dad got me into it when I was like 6 or 7 years old, and just hasn't stopped since. And we went to a lot of shows when I was younger too. We went a lot with my like aunt, uncle, and all that kind of stuff, and my dad's buddies. Quatie's dad.
Yeah, Daddy!
The earliest memory that I have, Jesus Christ, that I have would probably be Survivor Series 98 with The Rock turning heel and joining the corporation, winning the title. We probably went to some Raw or something before that. That is the earliest one I remember, and I can still remember seeing...
We were at the end of the arena, weren't we?
Yeah, we were at the far end of the arena looking towards the entrance and everything, and I still remember that, and that was a great moment, and then just... fell in love with going to live wrestling events, and now I've been to, Jesus,
Best show you've been to live?
Probably Money in the Bank for you.
Oh, yeah, it would probably have to be Money in the Bank.
Oh, yeah.
I feel
now that I think about it, I wasn't even thinking of that. But...
Money in the Bank 2011 had to be for me. Yeah, we both went to that one, and then...
Man Up 2007.
Yeah, that was outstanding. I've been to 2 WrestleManias, 22 and 25. 25, I mean... If you guys have an opportunity to go to WrestleMania, do it. I mean, anything necessary to do it. If you're a wrestling fan, you have to do it. I know the money is just crazy, and I had the advantage and the opportunity of having just amazing parents that are just devoted to their son, because, I mean, it's just great that I've been fortunate enough to do that. But 22 was outstanding in Chicago. 25 is just like, there's just a sea of people, and it's just, you're just in a moment. You're not even there. You're not even it's like you're just a little part of it, but you feel that you're in that moment. It's just outstanding. I mean, it's just, it was awesome, yeah. So, but yeah, I'd have to say Money in the Bank would probably be the best.
9th anniversary show.
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
Been to a couple Ring of Honor shows too. All of us have. Yeah. So yeah, been some good ones.
That may have been. Yeah.
I went to Man Up in 2007. That was my first Ring of Honor show I went to, and one of the best wrestling shows I've ever seen. It was great.
All right, another question from Agent 47 Gold. This one's going to be. These next two I'm actually really intrigued. He's only got 5. Name one thing you hate about TNA.
Jeff Hardy.
Boom.
Just Hulk Hogan's face.
Brooke Hogan's face. Hulk Hogan's face.
I mean,
getting rid of the 6-sided ring.
Just TNA has just
they do some good, then they do some bad.
Yeah,
and
they do great, and then they just turn on themselves and shit all over it. And it's just like,
I got another one. Having lockdown with only a few cages, not all of them.
Ruining teenage traditions, really. I mean, a lot of the stuff when it comes to a lot of that things. I mean, we could just go on and on.
The Florida crowd. Boom.
Yeah.
Florida crowd. The Florida
crowd. Stick it up your ass and have fun, March 14th when Chicago is outstanding and you realize it's great to have live shows.
Next question. Name one thing you hate about the WWE.
John Cena.
Oh, my God. That's knocking it out of the park. I think, for me, politics. I think the politics behind the scene are getting... They've always been, big, but I think it's becoming to the point where it's so much about the money that, it's just they don't care about
the wrestling product.
I mean, they're getting to that degree because they have a lot of great workers, but it's obvious what Punk said. He cut that promo about well, little Jimmy gets more airtime than a guy like Tyson Kidd, and Daniel Bryan, is acting like a fool, and he's a great worker, and I think the politics behind the scene, I think, is coming to the forefront, and a lot, for us at least, is a big part of why wrestling to me nowadays is
I would agree with that to an extent. I also just the childish nature of WWE. We start to continue to see the Tensais and the Brodus Clays and
that Raw. Which one was it? The 20th anniversary.
20th anniversary and the Christmas Eve edition.
Oh, they were horrible.
It's garbage. I mean, it's just so childish. And I don't even think children think. I think children think it's childish. There's some of the shit they do, and just. It goes without saying how many times we just say the underutilized and underdeveloped talent that I could go on and fucking on about. But just the guys that aren't getting used in developmental, the guys that aren't getting used on the roster, it's come to a time where you just got to fucking move on and start using these guys and moving on to the future that's going to be bright as hell. But
Randy Orton face. That's all you had.
Randy Orton continue to being face and getting tortured. Jesus.
Tyson Kidd blows his knee out after Punk.
He did.
Promo.
All right, next up we got Anything Goes Show WWE. Like to know, do you think TNA's ratings will go up when the show goes on the road?
Quatie?
No.
I think it could. I think the problem is they went to England and they did the whole deal there. The crowds in England are great. I think that just the lack of being live. I liked TNA when they were live, and not knowing. And it was horrible because, I read a lot of the spoilers and the things that happened. And I normally, I wouldn't. But it's just, I think they got to be live. They got to be on the road. And they got to, put in work with the different states, and generate different fan bases.
I would agree with that. I think there's absolutely a potential of it. I mean, there's going to be more people tuning in when you just got a fresher feel to things. And they've been live, but as we've talked about a million times, they've been live in that shithole of a fucking Impact Zone that it's turned into. It used to be so great.
But look at Lockdown. That Lockdown last year, that crowd was horrible.
It was dead, just dead, horrible.
And it was in a different state.
It was in a different place. I would agree with that. But yeah, we've just been so tortured by having to see shit in that fucking Impact Zone over the past couple of years. It was so great and so lively when it was a lively product, when TNA was outstanding to see and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, get the hell out of fucking Impact Zone and move on. Hopefully there's a potential to see some better stuff ratings-wise and maybe on TV.
Will the TNA ever compete with the WWE?
No.
Nope.
No chance.
All right, and next up we have still Anything Goes Show WWE. What is your favorite WrestleMania ever?
Who wants to start?
20.
I know Ryan's.
20.
19.
Yeah, 19's a great one. I'm always going to go with 17. It's one a lot of fans love. It's outstanding. But yeah, there's been a bunch.
20.
And next we have the same question from the same Anything Goes Show WWE. A better match: Aries versus Punk, Ambrose versus Punk, Ambrose versus Aries.
All.
Yeah, you can answer any of that. I know all of these matches have occurred. I mean, you get your own little taste of everything with each match. I'd like to see a large-scale Ambrose Punk match. I know they've had a match in FCW that was pretty quality. Aries, CM Punk won his first and ever Ring of Honor title off of Austin Aries before he went to WWE. That happened.
Go see that match if you haven't seen it, and what happened after it.
And the promo, very, very good. But I think right now, which one would be the best? I think Punk and Ambrose, could have a very, very good match.
Have you answered yet?
I said all of them.
Okay, yeah, good answer. I would agree with all of them. But yeah, I've had a theory about this question. I saw this question before. I would go with the storyline angle and outcoming match of Punk and Ambrose, because I think they could just tell storytelling geniusness with what they would tell and what they could put on, because they are two of the best storytellers in the world today. And obviously great workers. I think the best quality match would be Punk and Aries. We've seen it in the past. Aries and Ambrose would be great, but it would be kind of interesting what they could build around. But yeah, I'd go storyline, angle and match with what they could tell with, Ambrose and Punk. But I'd go match quality. I'd go with Punk and Aries.
And last but not least, from Anything Goes Show WWE, is the Aces and Eights the worst faction in TNA history?
No. I actually think the faction is fantastic. I think the people in the faction are not good. I think if the right people were in this faction, I think it's a bunch of WWE cast-offs and half-asses and nobodies that they're trying to fit into places. And, and I think the storyline is good. I think in the faction is good. I think it's just the wrong people in the faction. Can't say anything other than that. I think we talked to TNA Frontline was pretty bad. Serotonin was pretty. The newly franchised Naturals. I don't even think that's a faction. It's
just a tag team.
But I I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I have to go with probably TNA Frontline. It's pretty bad.
Do you answer?
I think the faction was good, but the people in it, they need a big name in it. Devon's not a big name. I don't even know who else is in it.
Mr. Anderson.
Mr. Anderson.
Doc.
Mike Knox.
Exactly. You need a bigger name than those guys.
I totally agree with what they're all saying. I think the idea is great. Just completely the wrong people. It's not the worst, but it's becoming really fucking bad with who's in it right now. It's
I think Bully Ray should have headed it.
I think Bully Ray would have made a lot of sense. And we still haven't seen the header. It's probably going to be Jared, but whatever.
The header?
Gives it the header.
All right, Andre Corbeil with a question for you guys. Do you think if TNA was to bring back stars such as Petey Williams, Amazing Red, and Low Key, would this end up being the answer to reviving the once great and one-of-a-kind X Division?
Hold on, time out. Did you say Amazing Red? Yes.
Yes. Amazing Red. So do I think it would be a great move for them?
Yeah, if they brought these guys back, do you think it'd help revive the X Division?
It's absolutely. I think they're to the point now where they're veterans of that style, and they're veterans of the business that have been there for a good 10+ years now. That could help guys in the positions that they are, in the positions of the X Division guys. You have guys like Kenny King get in there. Once Jesse Sorensen gets back, if he wants to get in there and kind of do some stuff around there, you have Zema Ion do some stuff. But then you can build around with other younger talent, bring in some people, which I think TNA does not do, and that's a terrible thing that TNA doesn't do, is bring in more talent as far as X Division wise and do that kind of stuff. You've seen Ring of Honor do it with tons of time, especially back in the past. They just had a top prospect tournament. You just have all these youth and young talent and fresh faces. I mean, it's always great to have fresh faces come in. But yeah, I think having those old faces come in, I think, and there's still great talent. I mean, you're talking about like Low Keys and Amazing Red. I mean, they're outstanding. We've heard nothing from them, over the past couple of years. Really haven't done much. But yeah, it would be absolutely outstanding to see them come in and work with younger guys and hopefully build back, which is one of the best divisions. Was the best divisions in the world, which is the X Division.
I think TNA, if they want to revive the X Division as a total, I think they should grab 4 to 5 veterans that they used to have, and 4 to 5 guys that are newer guys. Just like Ring of Honor snagged up some young guys. ACH is a guy I've talked about several times, who I think is a great talent. There's a lot of younger guys who can really work on the indies that are kind of making their come up. Snag some guys that are really different and put them in there with some veteran guys and just let them go. And I think that's what TNA needs to do, and they're not doing it right now.
They also need to bring the 6-sided ring back. That will also help with the X Division.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, we got now a friend of the show who's seen it live. She's going sub-main today. We've got Crazy Lady. She'd like to know, does the love of wrestling run through your families?
I wonder if this is geared towards me, Kristen. Yes, obviously. Anybody connected to J-Man here is going to be affected by professional wrestling. It just goes without saying. My father...
You have no choice. It's like being held hostage.
It is kind of like being held hostage. My father, I could literally have a full-blown, legit conversation about modern-day former professional wrestling with my grandmother, and I am not fucking joking about that. She's not in like 80-year-old grandma. She's a very young grandma. But yes, I could literally. She could. I mean, she just got. She's going to Extreme Rules with my aunt, obviously, and her husband. I mean, they're going to Extreme Rules. So, obviously, it goes without saying. Everybody's going to be affected by wrestling when it comes to J-Man.
Yep. Not at all. Nobody. My dad. Pretty much my dad. My mom, when I was younger, thought Shawn Michaels was hot. Thought The Rock was hot. Other than that, my dad, watched it with my dad. That's about it. That's where I got it stemmed from. So, nobody really else in my family. I have a 7-year-old brother that I try to get to watch wrestling, and he loses interest very easily.
I can understand that.
But I think eventually he'll catch on to it.
Question number 2. If you could talk to Vince right now, and that's Vince McMahon, what would you say to him?
Can I have a contract?
Can I have a contract?
Boom.
The one thing would be, hey, I know some shit about wrestling. Give me a job.
Boom.
The exact same thing Ryan said.
Boom.
I'd love to have it, and some money.
And some money.
I'd love to have a job.
Think about the fans.
Think
Vince.
about the future. Yeah, we'd all love to have a job, maybe creatively writing for you guys, because I know that's what I did in college. Ryan did as well. Yeah, because you dipshits that you got behind the scenes right now, you're Freddie Prinze Jr.'s doing a little wrestling writing.
Freddie Prinze
Fuck
Jr.
off.
Great. So we'd see nothing but CM Punk. Shawn Michaels would probably be Big Bad as general manager, and
You have Cassius Ohno on the roster, I tell you that. That's for damn sure.
Biggie Langston would be
Biggie Langston
scrubbing
would be
floors.
right the fuck off the
and after
roster.
5 months, you'd all be fired because we'd be bored with it, just like
Oh,
everything
okay,
else.
sure you would.
And last but not
Kind of
least, from
racist
Crazy Lady, if you had your own wrestling theme song, what would it be?
Ryan.
I don't know. I have a setup. I think my gimmick would be I'd probably be John Cena in 2003. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I wouldn't be a generic one. I'll probably go with. I think we talked Gangster's Paradise by Coolio.
Legit.
That'd be pretty cool.
Go ahead, Cliff.
My turn. Harlem Shuffle.
Oh, God.
Harlem Shake.
Shake, whatever.
I didn't even say it right.
God, it's been a long day. I'm on a lot of
Harlem
pills.
Shuffle. Could we be seeing that in the future?
Maybe.
Oh, my God.
I'm on medicine.
Pro wrestling Pro wrestling
Kristen realizes this is an absolute impossible question for me to answer, knowing my extended fucking music love. Jesus. The Look by Roxette?
There you go.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
What in the world can make a brown-eyed girl turn blue? No, anything pre-Black Album by Metallica, fuck yeah, everybody knows Metallica's my favorite band ever. Anything New Age metal, hell yeah, right now. In the forefront, the greatest metal band in the world, Parkway Drive. They took it from As I Lay Dying. As I Lay Dying is tremendous as well. Would love to have some of them. Stick to your guns. Go fucking check them out if you're any sort of metal fan. Never heard of them. They're some of the best influence to me. Yeah, there's so many more I could fucking go on and on about. But as far as a song right now, Atlas by Parkway Drive is one of the best new age metal songs I've ever heard in my fucking life. It's tremendous. Where the Sun Never Sleeps by Stick to Your Guns would be another one. There's so many fucking... It would be a metal sort of song if you guys could catch the drift, but there's so many I'm forgetting. But next question.
And we have the main event from Chicago, Illinois.
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 God damn.
Oh, I was trying to draw it out like buffer style, but it came out
Illinois.
Like it ended up just meant I pronounced Illinois wrong.
To Win the Rapture by Avenged Sevenfold as well.
We got Kyle 9965. I'm going to read his questions in a little bit different
Get in the
order.
main, bro.
Like everyone else not wanting to see Cena Rock 2 twice in a lifetime, what matches would you like to see at WrestleMania this year?
What? Hi, Kitty.
Just one.
Or matches.
Matches. I would see Taker Punk. See Jericho Ziggler. And Cody Rhodes and Tyson Kidd.
Cody Rhodes and Tyson Kidd. That's interesting. I don't know. I'd like to see. I don't know. I don't know what I'd like to see. I'd like to see Daniel Bryan and John Cena. That'd be cool. But I doubt that'll happen. I'd like to see Damian Sandow in a high-profile match. Get a victory over maybe a veteran. Maybe be like a Randy Orton or something. That'd be cool. But I mean, storyline-wise, I really don't know. Cesaro maybe beating a Randy Orton or something like that as well. That'd be pretty cool.
That'd be good as well. Punk and Bryan, that would deserve the main event WrestleMania in my eyes. Yeah, Punk and Taker would be great. Daniel Bryan and Chris Jericho. Jericho and Ziggler. I mean, any of those.
Jericho and Undertaker was another
Jericho
one.
and Undertaker would be one that a lot of people wanted to see as well. Something with Randy Orton, I can't really think of anything right now. But yeah, I mean, some of that kind of shit.
CM Punk stole Cold Steve Austin.
I would love to
Make
see
it happen before he gets too old.
WrestleMania 30. Let's hope we're there for it.
I'm on with it. Next, thoughts on TNA on the road permanently and Aries and Rude as tag champs.
What?
TNA on the road, smart move, get the fuck out of Florida. Austin, Rude, tag champs, unique. I'd like to see them feud later on.
Yeah, the road thing is something we talked about for a long time. I hope they continue to try to do this. You don't really find out where your best spots are going to be for pay-per-views and other stuff like that unless you go on the road and you see where your hot for your fans are. But Rude and Aries, it's unfortunate because neither guy has anything going on. They just give them the titles. I'm okay with it. I don't see this going very far as a team, but I see it being very interesting, and I like it.
Yeah, TNA was great. Like we said, had to get out of the fucking impact zone and move everything on. It just makes your product look more legit when you're outside of a fucking stable situation. Aries and Rude, outstanding as a tag team, and two of the best in the world. They should be focused on a hell of a lot more than just being in a tag division. If they want to give them all the titles, go right ahead and do it, because I don't give a shit. But yeah, it's got to end with them kind of feuding or doing something like that. But yeah, singles-wise, they should be together. Tag team, they're fantastic. Outstanding.
And last, but certainly not least, the final question. What do you think the WWE product will be like in 5 years with the next generations of stars like Ryback, Ziggler, Sandow, Rhodes, and the signing of internet darlings like Seth Ambrose,
Seth Ambrose?
Seth, Ambrose.
Okay.
The Shield.
Yeah, and Cesaro, etc. So basically, what's it going to look like for the next 5 years?
Ring of Honor. It's what it comes down to. If you look at the people who WWE signed in the past year and a half, it's literally been Ring of Honor's people that Ring of Honor gets tired of. So we'll see.
You're gonna have, I think, you're gonna have some good and some bad. I think there's some great characters that are gonna develop here very soon, and then you're gonna have guys like like the Brodus Clays and the guys that are a flash in the pan. They're good for a while and they're entertaining for a while, but then you get tired of them. I think that's always going to happen with WWE. It's just going to be a gimme. But I think quality wrestling wise, you're looking at some really great wrestling matches coming up in the next 5 years with the talent we have.
Yeah, the quality of character, wrestling quality, and just the names and the youth that's going to be coming up over the next 5 years is just looking tremendous. But it's all about the developmental and how you produce these guys and how you enhance their careers and how you move them along and how you show them to us and how you put them on the screen and make us care about them and make them significant. And it's all about the back. These guys are great. They're fantastic, and if you put them on screen, you let them do what they do, you're not going to do anything wrong. But it's all about WWE, and Ryan's talking about the politics and all this kind of shit. It's all about them just letting them do what they got to do. It's what they did with CM Punk. They handcuffed CM Punk for so long, and then they finally fucking unchained him, and then he went on to do everything that he does.
Handcuffed too soon?
Too soon. Jesus. But yeah, you just have to let these guys be who they are and do what they do. That's what you got to do, and it looks great. It just has to come to fruition and be great. It's the thing.
Yeah, we got about 5 minutes to go on this tape, so
wow.
We are going to have to wrap this up.
Yeah.
Real quick, though, who's going to be champion in 5 years, WrestleMania 34? One answer. Who will be champion 5 years?
Oh, my God.
Seth Rollins.
I wish.
5 years from now.
I hope Punk or Bryan.
Yeah, I could see Punk or Bryan. I think a Shield guy, maybe.
Yeah, hopefully Ambrose or Rollins.
Yeah, one of those guys, maybe.
Wrong John Cena.
Wrong John Cena.
Yep. Dolph Ziggler would be a good guess.
Yeah, Dolph too.
All right, everybody check out the Pro Wrestling Pulse fan page.
Yes.
On Facebook, good friend of the show,
Elizabeth Gorman does absolutely everything on this page. We have nothing to be connected. She's doing it as a great fan of ours and putting everything out there, putting our videos, putting everything plug in. But everything she puts on the page, that's all her, consulted by Ryan or Ryan or Quatie or whoever the hell ends up consulting her. But that's mainly all her on that page.
Yeah, definitely a labor of love. If you sat here through all this one, congratulations.
Guarantee they did.
We got hats up in the basement. We'll send them out. Just let us know. But for Quad, J-Man, Ryan, that's what we got. We answered every question. Boom. Next time we do this, send us 100. So, see you guys.